The box was heavier than it looked, but David didn't flinch. His hands were calloused from years of labor, and his heart even more so, from the weight of unpaid bills, custody battles, and loneliness that never truly left since his divorce. Yet that morning, as he loaded a stranger's belongings into the back of a beat-up rental van outside an upscale apartment complex, he wasn't thinking about himself. He just saw a woman, crying, barefoot, mascara smudged, struggling to carry her life down 3 flights of stairs. And something in her eyes reminded him of his own pain. Chapter 1, Two Worlds Collide. David Taylor wasn't supposed to be in that neighborhood. He was only there to pick up leftover furniture a friend had offered him, something decent for your daughter's room, the guy had said. But as he waited outside, sipping gas station coffee in his aging Ford pickup, he saw her. A woman with trembling hands and red eyes, dragging a suitcase across the pavement like it held more than clothes, like it held memories she was desperate to forget. He could have looked away. Should have, maybe. But he didn't. "You need help?" he asked gently, stepping out of his truck, wary not to startle her. She blinked, hesitant. It's fine. I've got it." "You clearly don't," he replied with a kind smile. "Let me give you a hand. I've got time." She looked at him, sizing him up. Unshaven, tattered jeans, sun-worn flannel, he didn't look like much. But his eyes were steady, and somehow, safe. "All right," she whispered, brushing hair from her face. "Thank you." She didn't say much at first. David didn't push. He helped carry boxes down, one after another, quietly stacking them into the van she'd rented. There were photo frames, old books, even a half-wilted plant she cradled like a fragile child. When they were almost done, he finally asked, "You moving far?" "Just out," she said, a sad smile tugging at her lips. "From him?" David nodded. He didn't need details. The look on her face said enough. Chapter 2, A Broken Heart and a Cup of Coffee. Once the van was packed, she sat on the curb and exhaled like she hadn't breathed in days. David hesitated before handing her his only clean cup, lukewarm coffee he hadn't touched. "Not the best," he said sheepishly. "But it's something." She took it, her hands brushing his. "Thank you, David." "Anna." She sipped. Winced. Laughed. "God, that's terrible." He chuckled. "Told you." There was a pause, then she looked up at him. "I wasn't supposed to need help today," she said. "I was supposed to leave quietly. Strong." David sat beside her. "Sometimes the strongest thing we do is let someone help." She turned to him, and for a moment, their pain aligned like stars. Chapter 3, A Life Less Glossy. Over the next few weeks, their paths crossed again. First, at a grocery store where she was struggling to understand the self-checkout. Then, when she showed up at the diner where he worked nights as a dishwasher. It became routine, her stopping by for coffee, sitting quietly at the corner booth, sometimes scribbling in a notebook, sometimes just staring out the window. She never wore makeup anymore. Her clothes weren't designer. But David never cared. He noticed the way she laughed a little easier now. She noticed the way he always checked on the elderly couple in the back, or gave leftover meals to the homeless man who lingered near the trash. One rainy night, as the diner emptied and the thunder cracked overhead, she waited by the counter. "You always this nice to strangers?" she asked. David shrugged, wiping his hands on a rag. "Only to the ones who look like they've been through hell and came back fighting." Anna smiled, bittersweet. "I used to be someone, you know. I don't care about titles. But I was CEO of my own tech company. Forbes under 40. Luxury condos, private jets, you name it." David whistled. "What happened?" She looked away. "I got so good at building an empire, I didn't realize I was crumbling inside it. My fiancé cheated. My board turned. I walked away with half my dignity and zero love. David leaned forward, his voice soft. Then maybe it's time you start building something real. Chapter 4, Building Something Real. Anna started volunteering at a local shelter. David sometimes picked her up in his rusty truck, their conversation flowing easier with each ride. They shared cheap takeout and deeper truths. He told her about his daughter Lily, about nights he cried alone in the dark when he couldn't afford her birthday gift. Anna didn't pity him. She respected him. She'd seen men with money and power, but never one with as much soul. One afternoon, she came with him to the park. Lily ran to her father, squealing, "Daddy." Her curls bounced like springs, her joy contagious. Anna watched as David lifted her high into the sky, spinning her until she giggled. He looked happy. Whole. And something in Anna's heart cracked open. Chapter 5, The Gift of Kindness. One evening, Anna sat with Lily as David worked the late shift. They painted their nails, watched cartoons, and danced in the living room. When David came home, exhausted, he paused at the door. His daughter was curled on Anna's lap, fast asleep. And Anna looked like she belonged. Over the next few days, Anna disappeared. No texts. No visits. David didn't panic, until day 5. Then she called. "I need to show you something." He drove to the address she sent. It wasn't a cafe or shelter or park. It was an office building. Anna stood at the top, in a crisp blazer and jeans, hair tied back. "David," she said softly, "this is mine." He blinked. "What is?" "My new company. My new mission. Helping single parents, the overlooked, the underestimated. Like you." He stood frozen. "I built this after you helped me move out, not just of that apartment, but of the life that was killing me. You showed me humanity again." David swallowed hard. "Anna, And," she continued, voice trembling, "I want you to be a part of it. I'm no CEO. No. You're better. You're the heart." Chapter 6, Love Finds a Way. They didn't fall in love like the movies. There were no perfect kisses in the rain. No sweeping music. Just real moments. Laughter over burnt pancakes. Her hand brushing his at the grocery store. The way he'd fix her chair without asking, or she'd bring Lily her favorite chocolate bar after a bad day. One night, after putting Lily to bed, they sat on the porch. "Do you ever wonder why things happen?" Anna asked. David nodded. "All the time." She turned to him. "What if I told you that heartbreak led me to you?" He looked at her then, not the CEO, not the woman he once helped, but Anna. A soul just as battered, just as brave. "I'd believe it," he whispered. And under the stars, he kissed her, slow, certain. Chapter 7, Full Circle. A year later, David stood on a stage, nervously adjusting the mic. He wore a suit that didn't quite fit and shoes that still had price tags under the soles. But his voice was clear. "My name is David Taylor," he said to the crowd, "and I used to think I was just a struggling dad. Until a woman taught me that even broken people can build something beautiful." The audience rose in applause. Anna smiled from the front row, tears in her eyes. Lily clapped wildly beside her. The company they built now employed over 200 people. It gave single parents job training, mentorship, and childcare support. It gave second chances. And it all began with a moment of kindness on a cold morning.